All right, moving on to the Rams. They're coming off a Super Bowl loss where they scored just 3 points. That after averaging over 30 points a game this season. Not great for a head coach in Sean McVay, who some call an offensive guru, and not great for third-year quarterback Jared Goff. Despite the disappointing performance, though, both of them vowed to bounce back.
If you can't handle getting gut punched and responding, you know, this business probably isn't for you.
I wish I would have played better. I think I speak for a lot of us when I say that, but, you know, myself in particular, you know, I wish I would have done my part better. And, you know, I can promise next time if we get that opportunity, I will.
It's a resilient mindset, and it's one of, you know, gratitude for what these players and these coaches have done this year, but also the unfinished element of it will just continue to drive you in the right way as you move forward.
All right, CC, both talk about the gut punch of losing the Super Bowl, but how hard is it to go through what you went through and then to try to get back there the next season?
I don't think it's going to be that difficult for them, given who they are in their career. I believe Sean McVay is a special coach. And if you look at what he's done in 2 seasons, double-digit wins. This year, multiple playoff wins, win on the road in New Orleans. Like, these are the signs of a great football coach. Jared Goff, what did he do in those 2 years with Sean McVay? Now, we know that losing Cooper Kupp really hurt Jared Goff. So now it's just a matter of, if they had won this game, would they be looking at themselves of how can I improve my game? And you look at yourself different in wins than you do in losses. But both of them, I thought, would have been trying to improve drastically on their limited amount of experience in the league. Jared Goff's got to do better against pressure in his face. It's not something he's thrived in. Sean McVay, he's got to have more variance in his offense. He's got to have more formations to be able to deal with a defense. He can't be as predictable as he is in the formations that he uses. Bill Belichick took him to school in the Super Bowl. So for me, how does he get the tight end more involved? Is he going to throw to the running backs more? Because all these things help quarterbacks. If you look at the quarterbacks that are having the highest percentage, watch how many times they throw to the tight ends and or their running backs. So I believe that they both will improve. This is a great opportunity because this Rams team, they were all in. And they have the type of owner. He is super rich. So they're not going to be looking for some, you know, bargains and everything. They got a lot of players they have to deal with on that roster. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe Jared Goff's going to be an elite quarterback in the league compared to other people.
You mentioned the wealth of the owner, and while that's a huge benefit, they still have the hard cap every team in the league has. And one of the downsides...
Yeah, but when I say that, all owners that are rich aren't committed to winning at all costs.
Right.
Like, he's committed to being an owner. He's been an owner in multiple sports. Like, he is committed to trying to spend the dollars to put everything they need. And they got a new stadium coming.
And even by professional owner standards, he's super rich. He's not quite the late Paul Allen rich, but he's, like, I mean...
He got less money than his wife.
Correct. Well, she's a Walmart heir, which helps as well. But neither here nor there.
Here we are. There's our tangent.
The point is that the downside to going all in is... you are going to eventually have to pay the piper cap-wise. That won't be this year, but that is next year. So they got 1 more year. But this year, they don't got a lot of draft picks to play with now. Like, they traded picks during the season for Dante Fowler. They traded a pick for Marcus Peters. We saw that this past year they traded a pick for Brandon Cooks. Like, there's real ramifications. You don't have as many young, talented players on your roster. You don't have as many young, cheap players on your roster. And Ndamukong Suh signed a 1-year prove-it deal for $14 million. I don't expect that he'll be back. They tried to address their linebacking core by trading for Dante Fowler. He now can leave if he wants to. So those are real things they're going to have to deal with this offseason that I think they'll be better equipped to deal with this offseason than in future offseasons. The bigger picture questions they have to answer are, what happened to Jared Goff over the last 2.5 months of the year? Right after Cooper Kupp got hurt, he went from a guy that was 26 touchdowns, 6 picks, they were 10-1, to a guy that was 7 touchdowns, 8 picks with a 74 passer rating. They were 5-3. That's question 1. Question 2, will other teams exploit what Bill Belichick showed them in the Super Bowl? The blueprint Belichick and the Pats laid out for how you really give the Rams trouble. Will other teams be able to exploit that, or was it a one-off? And the last one is the question that will remain a question until it is answered. Where in the world is Todd Gurley? what was the deal with Todd Gurley, what happened with Todd Gurley that allowed, yes, he was out the last couple weeks of the year. The first playoff game you guys played against Dallas, he was a dominant player against a really good run defense. What happened to him in the NFC Championship game and then in the Super Bowl that led to him having fewer than 20 touches in those two games combined? Those are the three questions the Rams have to answer going into next season. They try to defend their NFC title.
But then on top of that, as Coach mentioned, you're also a month behind everyone else game planning. Your schedule is going to be harder next year.
Yeah.
Other teams are going to be able to, I mean, everyone's looking at tape of your team and the way you did things. Maybe you don't get away with as many trick plays, or maybe they can see that coming. So I'm sure those all factor in on top of where's Jared Goff. We'll have a new quarterback coach again now. What happened to Todd Gurley, and where does this team, you know, structure-wise go?
Absolutely. I believe that the Rams are on the right track, though. I don't think that they're going to come back to the pack. I don't believe they're going to have a huge Super Bowl hangover. And when you trade those draft picks for those players, you got to be able to sign Dante Fowler. You also have to be able to sign Peters. Like, you have to sign those players because you traded draft picks. I'm looking forward to seeing how they grow this team.
And then last point, but there is a reason why the Patriots were the first team to lose a Super Bowl and get back to the Super Bowl, forget winning it, get back there since the Bills run in the early 90s. It's very difficult. Like, there's not a lot of precedent for a team coming that close to winning the championship and being back the next year playing for a championship once again.
All right, time now for Nick's favorite segment, and it's called Nick Makes a List.
Oh,
That's just a coincidence. We all know Anthony Davis might be on the move soon, but is he the most valuable asset in the NBA?
All right, so this is very simple. So contracts matter in this, which is why, for example, Kevin Durant's not on this list. He's only got a few months left on his contract. So the number 7 most valuable asset in the NBA is Steph Curry, the greatest shooter we've ever seen. He's on a rich contract, but it's a long-term contract. You would not trade Steph Curry straight up for any player except for the ones we're about to unveil. Number 6, James Harden, another guy who's locked up long-term, playing at the highest level we've seen an offensive player in this league play in at least 30 years. See, my guess is you maybe would have those two guys flipped. Harden above Steph.
I'm going to let you roll with your list, and then I'm going to devour it at the end.
Okay, no problem. Number 5, the best player alive, LeBron James. He's also on a long-term deal. We know that he's got at least 3 more super high-level years left, so you wouldn't trade LeBron straight up for anyone other than the following players. Number 4, Anthony Davis with an asterisk. The asterisk is assuming you're one of the teams he will commit to long-term. And then my favorite top 3. Number 3, guy who's not even in the league yet, Zion Williamson. I would not trade Zion for Anthony Davis. I would not trade Zion for LeBron James. He is the most can't-miss prospect to come into the NBA well since this guy. Number 2, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic has already shown me if he never improves 1% and stays at this level the rest of his career, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And he is, by the way, going to improve. And the number 1 most valuable asset in the league, the only truly untradeable player in the league, Giannis. He might be the best player alive right now. LeBron's trying to hold on to that title. Giannis is the most valuable piece in the NBA. There's my 1 through 7. Chris Carter, your thoughts? You're not even devouring it? You're just
You got 2 jobs, but you think that, man,
I would think what? What?
Okay,
Go ahead.
I got you.
What was the 2 jobs? No.
I don't agree with Zion. Because Zion's going to have to be able to shoot a little bit better to be the 3rd best asset in the NBA.
Not if he's just dunking on everybody, see. You don't got to shoot if you're hanging on the rim.
Oh, okay, yeah.
like
That's what you said about Ben Simmons, too.
This is a creative list.
Thank you, Jenna Wolf.
It was
I got a lot of
really
pushback from
interesting.
our
I know you did.
Hey, America, watching the show. Our producers don't necessarily think you're as smart as I think you are. They're like, people are going to be able to follow it. What do you mean? Why don't you use the best player list? I said, it's trade season. Yeah. Our viewers are smart,
That was
but they're going to understand
If you're so smart, why is only 7 on the list? Like, you always have these weird numbers. Hey, I got the top 5. I got the top.
I don't like top 5.
8.
Because I thought it was a clear-cut top 7. After we get past 7 at 8,
Yeah, that's what LeBron, greatest players ever. Let's go Jordan.
I like the
Let's
list.
go Kareem.
I like
Let's
the
go
list.
Bill
Gotta take a
Russell.
break.
Oh, my God. You don't even believe
Kobe,
that.
Then LeBron.
Coming up.
I told you they'd like
Brady
it,
and
Pep.
Belichick
Take
get
that.
Lombardi number 7 next year. That's next on First Things First.
You get Mannix, dude. They got another spot over at Sports Illustrated for you.
What? Oh, whoa. I'm very happy where I'm at.
People like